Good morning and welcome to another edition of the Daily Fix. I am your usual host and presenter, Advocate Tudo Hoyan. This morning I want to unpack the reinstatement of General Shadrach Sibiya into the South African Police Service. Let me take you back to 2015. In 2015, General Shadrach Sibiya was dismissed from the South African Police Service after he had been found guilty of the illegal rendition of Zimbabwean nationals from South Africa and their repatriation back to Zimbabwe. So he left the South African Police Services in 2015. He was only reinstated or won a case for reinstatement before the Labour Appeal Court in 2022. Now, there's something very interesting about that Labour Appeal Court decision to reinstate him. And that interesting aspect or circumstance surrounding that Labour Appeal Court case is that the South African Police Service did not oppose that application. In other words, General Shadrach Sibiya got what in law is called a default judgment. He went before the Labour Appeal Court to challenge his dismissal, and the South African Police Service did not oppose that application. Now, that raises a red flag. It raises a huge red flag because the first question that arises there is, why did the South African Police Service not oppose that application? You see, in 2015, when he was dismissed, the South African Police Services made a spirited appearance in court to indicate that he was not, a fit and proper person to be a member of the South African Police Service. And that culminated in the dismissal of General Shadrach Sibiya. But fast forward to 2022, no attempt at all is made to oppose his application before the Labour Appeal Court for reinstatement. So the question that arises there is, who wanted General Shadrach Sibiya back in the South African Police Service? Who facilitated and made sure that that application for reinstatement before the Labour Appeal Court proceeds uncontested or unopposed, in effect paving the way for General Sibiya's reinstatement? Because you see, once a matter goes before court unopposed, it is a foregone conclusion that the applicant or the person making that application will succeed. So the position was that the South African Police Services now had no problem having him back. That is why they did not oppose that application. But the question will always be, why did they not oppose that application? if in the first place, way back in 2015, they had moved to have him dismissed from the South African Police Service. Now, according to Malesela Teifo, Cele, who was then the Commissioner of Police, did not want to take back General Shadrach Sibiya for reasons which Teifo does not quite clarify, except to say that Cele, the then Commissioner of Police, was saying that General Shadrach Sibiya's position had since been filled following his dismissal in 2015. So it was only in 2023 that General Shadrach Sibiya was reinstated, after the current Commissioner of Police, General Fani Masemola, was appointed. And Minister Cele pushed for the reinstatement of General Shadrach Sibiya, and General Shadrach Sibiya was then reinstated in 2023. Malesela Teifo goes on to say that the interest of the Minister of Police, Cele, to have General Shadrach Sibiya reinstated stems from the fact that he, Cele, and General Shadrach Sibiya have been involved with criminal syndicates. So it was a way of paving back Sibiya's reinstatement in order to boost the fortunes of those criminal syndicates that Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi has exposed, and that are being exposed further by other witnesses like General Khumalo before the Madanga Commission. So that is the version that Teifo gives us to explain why General Shadrach Sibiya was then brought back into the South African Police Service. As you already know, General Shadrach Sibiya is very close to the suspended Minister of Police, Senzo Mchunu. And one of the things that they did was to quickly move to have the political killings task team disbanded and the seizure of 121 active investigation dockets. That is now common cause and known to everybody. So the decision to have General Shadrach Sibiya reinstated was at the behest of Cele, who ensured that the application before the Labour Appeal Court by General Sibiya proceeds unopposed, so that Cele can then have General Shadrach Sibiya back in the South African Police Service for purposes of facilitating the smooth operations of Minister Cele acting in cahoots with General Sibiya to facilitate the unhindered operations of the criminal syndicates exposed by General Kwanazi and other witnesses before the Matanga Commission, like General Kumar. So that is the reason why Sibiya has been reinstated in the South African Police Service. But you see, Sibiya, no sooner has Sibiya been reinstated, interestingly, that he is now facing yet another suspension. He's again controversially involved with criminal syndicates. He is now serving a suspension, and there is also a parallel process being undertaken by the Commissioner of Police to have him yet again dismissed from the South African Police Service. So, in essence, those are the circumstances surrounding the reinstatement of General Sibiya. The real reason is now clear why Cele, who was then the Minister of Police, wanted Shadrach Sibiya back in the South African Police Service. And once he was reinstated, General Shadrach Sibiya hit the road running. And we now see him suspended from the South African Police Service. Having said that, let me thank you for watching this video. Let me thank you for all the likes and the subscriptions and shares that I'm seeing. We are getting closer and closer to the 12,000 subscriber mark. Please support this initiative. It can only grow with your unwavering support. Thank you very much and have a wonderful, wonderful day.